Most traders think trading psychology is something simple. They think it means controlling emotions, staying calm, being disciplined. And yes, those things are important, but the reality is much deeper than that. Because trading psychology is not just about controlling emotions during trades. It is about understanding yourself. It is about understanding your behavior. It is about understanding why you repeat the same mistakes, even when you already know what the right action is. In this video, I want to talk honestly about something that most people never explain clearly. What nobody tells you about trading psychology. Because most traders spend years learning strategies, indicators, and market patterns. But they spend very little time understanding the mind that is making the decisions. And that becomes the real problem. If you stay with me until the end of this video, you will understand why psychology controls so much of your trading results, why most emotional mistakes keep repeating, and how you can slowly build the mindset of a consistent trader. And if you want to continue building a strong trading mindset, consider subscribing to Bull Mindset. This channel is focused on trading psychology, discipline, and long-term consistency. Now let us begin with the first truth that nobody tells you. Trading psychology is not separate from trading. It is trading. Because every decision you make is connected to your emotional state. Every entry, every exit, every risk decision, every moment of hesitation, every moment of fear, every moment of greed, all of it is psychological. Now let us go deeper. Most traders think the market is the problem, but many times, the real problem is emotional behavior. The market does not force you to overtrade. The market does not force you to revenge trade. The market does not force you to increase risk emotionally. Those actions come from inside. And until you understand that, nothing changes. Now let us talk about another truth nobody explains clearly. Knowing what to do is not enough. Almost every trader knows basic risk management. Almost every trader knows they should control emotions. Almost every trader knows they should follow their plan. But knowing and doing are completely different things. And this is where psychology becomes important, because under emotional pressure, people stop acting logically. Now let us talk about fear. Fear changes behavior very quickly. When traders lose money, fear appears. Fear of losing more, fear of being wrong, fear of failure. And because of this fear, traders hesitate. They exit early. They avoid good setups. They lose confidence. Now let us talk about greed. Greed is another emotional trap. After a few winning trades, traders feel powerful. They increase risk, they take unnecessary trades, they become careless, and suddenly, discipline disappears. Now let us talk about something deeper. Trading psychology is not about becoming emotionless. It is about learning how not to react impulsively. Professional traders still feel fear, they still feel greed, they still feel frustration, but they do not allow emotions to control behavior. That is the difference. Now let us move into real trading examples. Imagine a trader who takes a losing trade. Immediately, frustration appears. They want to recover quickly, so they take another trade without confirmation, then another, and suddenly, one small loss becomes a large losing day. Now imagine a professional trader. They take a losing trade. They feel disappointment, but they pause. They stay calm. They review the situation logically. Their behavior remains controlled. This is trading psychology in action. Now let us consider another situation. A trader takes 3 winning trades in a row. They feel excited. They feel confident. They start believing they cannot lose. So, they increase their risk. They stop following rules carefully. And eventually, one emotional trade removes most of their profits. Now imagine a disciplined trader. They experience the same winning streak, but their behavior does not change. They keep the same risk. They follow the same process. They remain emotionally balanced. This is psychological stability. Now let us talk about another truth nobody tells you. Trading psychology becomes harder when real money is involved. Everything feels different when money is at risk. Your emotions become stronger, fear becomes stronger, pressure becomes stronger, and many traders are shocked by this, because strategy looks easy during backtesting, but emotions appear when money becomes real. Now let us go deeper into self-awareness. Most traders are not aware of their emotional patterns. They do not notice when fear controls them. They do not notice when greed controls them. They simply react automatically. Professional traders build awareness. They observe themselves. They study their behavior. They learn their emotional triggers. Now let us talk about revenge trading. This is one of the biggest psychological mistakes. A trader loses money. Their ego becomes emotional. They feel the need to recover quickly, so they force trades. They increase risk. And usually, the situation becomes worse. But professional traders think differently. They understand that emotional recovery is more important than financial recovery. They step back, they calm down, they protect their mindset. Now let us talk about another truth. Trading psychology affects physical behavior too. Stress changes your breathing. Stress changes your focus. Stress changes your decision-making. This is why emotional control matters so much. Now let us talk about consistency. Most traders want consistent profits, but consistency comes from consistent behavior. And consistent behavior comes from psychological control. Now let us go deeper into long-term thinking. Professional traders think differently. They do not focus on one trade. They focus on a series of trades over time. This reduces emotional pressure, because they understand one trade does not define them. Now let us talk about identity. Most struggling traders identify emotionally with every result. If they win, they feel successful. If they lose, they feel like failures. But professional traders separate identity from outcomes. They focus on process, not ego. Now let us talk about mental frameworks that help improve trading psychology. The first framework is process over outcome. Focus on execution, not immediate profit. The second framework is emotional neutrality. Do not become too excited after wins or too depressed after losses. Stay balanced. The third framework is probability thinking. Understand that losses are normal. No system wins every trade. The fourth framework is long-term thinking. Judge yourself over months and years, not individual trades. Now let us talk about practical exercises. One powerful exercise is journaling. Write down your trades. Write down your emotions. Write down your thoughts before and after each trade. This builds awareness. Another exercise is reviewing emotional mistakes weekly. Identify patterns, identify emotional triggers. Another helpful practice is reducing trade frequency. Too much activity increases emotional pressure. Another exercise is using fixed risk. Do not change risk emotionally. Keep it stable. Another important exercise is pausing after losses. Do not rush back into the market emotionally. If this video is helping you understand trading psychology on a deeper level, consider subscribing to Bull Mindset. Because mindset is what separates emotional traders from disciplined traders. Now let us go even deeper. Most traders are looking for certainty, but trading is uncertain, and this creates discomfort. Professional traders accept uncertainty. They understand they cannot control outcomes. They can only control behavior. Now let us talk about patience. Patience is psychological strength. Waiting feels uncomfortable. Doing nothing feels uncomfortable. But profitable traders understand that patience protects them from emotional mistakes. Now let us talk about discipline. Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is repeated, controlled behavior. It is following your plan even when emotions appear. Now let us talk about emotional recovery. After difficult days, professional traders recover mentally. They rest, they review, they reset emotionally. They do not carry frustration into the next trading session. Now let us move toward the final message. What nobody tells you about trading psychology is this. The market is not only testing your strategy. Surprised? It is testing your mind, your patience, your discipline, your emotional control, your self-awareness, and long-term success comes from mastering these things slowly over time. Let me leave you with one final thought. Most traders focus too much on charts and not enough on themselves, but your psychology controls how you react to the charts. And if your mindset becomes stronger, your decisions become stronger. If your decisions become stronger, your consistency improves. And if your consistency improves, long-term success becomes possible. And if you want to continue building that mindset, subscribe to Bull Mindset. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.